Hey, what's happening, people? Welcome back to Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. This is episode 13. What is it called? Turnabout Succession. This is going to be the start of the trial. We're starting late with this because today was the Final Fantasy thing, which did not go well. But the Final Fantasy demo will be looked at tonight in place of Arkham. So I hope you guys will look at that tonight. But yeah, how's everybody doing? At least my voice is clear. I actually just woke up, so I don't know how well my voice is gonna do. When I sleep for a long time, and I've been I recorded a ton of Suicide Squad stuff, so my voice was kind of hoarse, I guess you could say. But I recorded the Nintendo news this morning, so I guess my voice is doing a little bit better. But you'll see in Suicide Squad episode, the internet cut out during my boss fight with Batman, and I went a little ballistic because I had to do it all over again. And yeah, so I don't know what day that episode airs, but I went pretty crazy because I don't like live service games. I had to do that whole section all over again. I had to do the entire lead up to the boss fight and everything. It was just so irritating.
Yeah, I was actually watching a video about that. I think I believe the Guardians of the Galaxy team game that they did, I believe it got an 8 Metacritic score.
Yes, it did.
So the fact that somebody could also, it's interesting that in that game, all the characters were really important, yet it was a first-person offline game. You could play that offline.
Yeah.
So the way that game was done as a team game was way better than, like a live service thing.
Yep.
And it got literally an 8. So, really, they should use that Guardians of the Galaxy game as the model for, you're going to make, a team game like that. It was fantastic.
Yeah. When Final Fantasy VII Rebirth comes out, I'm not even hesitating to delete Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad will be one of the first games I delete.
Yeah, it's a good thing you're
for Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, guys and gals, your first like goal is, well, you know how it goes. It's trial time. So, wait, Turnabout Trump? Where are we? Turnabout Succession. Yeah, there it is. The trial, day 1. Alright. And since there's hardly any female characters, I have a lot of work to do. Episode 4, Turnabout Succession. And that is the whole truth of this case. Whoa! Wait, what's going on? This isn't right.
What?
Why are they doing this again? This is not... I messed something up. This is not right. This is how the case something's wrong. We'll just let it go through and then I'll try to load my games. This is not correct. This is not right. So basically, anyway, so I'll tell people about this case. So this case follows and loosely connects to everything that we've done so far as Apollo Justice. This is the massive climax of the game that accumulates everything that Apollo Justice, and you'll even meet, I think you meet characters that you've seen before, over the course. That's Trucy's mom, I believe, who's killed 7 years ago.
Oh, wow, Luke.
Yeah, it was a duel between the uncle and the father, but she wasn't supposed to die, but I believe she died. And then the father either disappeared or he was executed, I don't know. But I only played through Apollo Justice once, a long time ago. And, I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I didn't like Apollo Justice as much as I liked Ace Attorney because Trucy was kind of annoying, and Maya was, Maya was, fun and spunky, and Trucy... Also, I didn't like the fact that the girl was, 15 and the main character was, 20-something. It didn't have that same type of,
Oh, right.
Yeah, if there was any sparks between the characters, I was kind of
what was the age difference between
Maya and Phoenix?
Yeah.
I think Maya was at least 18.
Oh, wow.
Or 19, and Phoenix was 24, something like that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that makes it a little better.
Yeah, made it a little better. Okay.
Well, I mean, I guess they're just trying to make... Yeah. Well, I guess if Trucy was 3 years older, then it would be a little better. But I guess in Japan, it wouldn't really matter, because 15 is the 18. Japan,
Right. It even says trial day 1, so why did that mess up? What did I click on before? It says it right there. It says yesterday, right? 2-5.
Yeah, that should be correct.
So then why didn't it load it?
Alright, I guess we'll try it again. Maybe they were recapping.
No. Wait, you think they're recapping it?
I don't know.
No. She's saying, look at TV. Yeah, I'm kind of busy. See? No, she's talking about the case at hand. That's not right. This is supposed to be the trial. Yes. Thank you. Okay, there we go. OH, I like to have multiple files because in case I mess up, I didn't ruin the game. That's why I do that.
It's okay, we found it.
You're so sweet to me.
October 8th, 9:48 a.m., District Court Defendant Lobby, number 6. It's my job to be sweet to you.
I like that you're nice to me. Defendant Lobby. Alright. Where are we?
If I wasn't nice to you, then you should kick me to the curb, and then you have 2 cats instead.
No, I don't want to kick you to the curb. You're sweet. Okay, here we go. October 8th, 9:48, District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 6. Good morning! Oh, that's right, you don't talk.
So, you're Vera, right? I'm Trucy Wright. That's right, with a W. But not like right again, right? Right?
She didn't care.
We're on your side, okay? You can tell us anything, please. Good morning.
She speaks!
Not bad, but I think you'd do better with a little smile, you know. You're so pretty, you need to sell yourself, you know?
Trucy, let's take it easy for starters, okay?
Thank you for taking my case.
She draws. Okay, well, let's start, I guess. There she goes with the nail polish again.
That's great! Really, it's so cultured! Want to try? Oh, really?
Girls. The victim, Drew Misham, was a forger, and a stolen patent was found in his studio. A life of crime, really? And maybe on that led to his death. October 8th, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 3. I'm stroking my beard. My beard's getting kind of thick. We now will, begin the trial of, Vera Misham?
Is the judge okay? His voice is all raspy and he's looking around all nervous-like.
The repercussion of today's trial will most likely be felt for a long time, and may indeed alter our legal system forever. Today is a test of the jurist system, and the first step toward a new order in our courts.
Daddy's secret mission!
The jurists will function like a jury. It is hoped that their inclusion will help the courts to better reflect the people's will. Why aren't there many jurists in the courtroom? 3 closed-circuit cameras watch this courtroom at all times. The jurists have access to everything that transpires. Jurist, judge well, and judge cool. Now, see here, Prosecutor Gavin. I was going to say that. My apologies, Herr Judge. Judge, judge today's trial coolly, if you would be so kind.
The jurists are unbound by the letter of the law. They don't affect the trial with evidence, but by their feelings. We're about to find out just what effect they're going to have.
Very well, Prosecutor Gavin. The details of the case, if you would.
The victim is a painter, Drew Misham. He was killed in his own studio. His coffee was poisoned by whom, you ask? By none other than the defendant, Vera. Objection! There wasn't any poison in the coffee. Acton, someone has been doing their homework. Indeed, poison was not present in the coffee, but on the mug itself.
The mug? A residue was found on the rim, I see.
The autopsy report describes the manner of our victim's death.
The court accepts this as evidence.
Autopsy report added to the court record.
According to this report, the victim's death was caused by some type of poisoning.
A chemical compound that does not occur naturally. Lethal dosage is a mere 0.002 milligrams. A touch of this stuff to the body is the touch of the Reaper's scythe.
Very well, Prosecutor Gavin, you may present your witness.
I have for you today a simple man for a simple case. A man who witnessed the murder in its entirety. That journalist, no doubt.
Clown guy.
The witness will state his name and occupation.
Right! Well, for starters, my name's Spark Brushel. My job is a lone observer of the world.
In other words, a freelance journalist, right?
If you don't mind, I'd like to state something here for the record. Yes, Mr. Brushel. I dislike conclusions, specifically the aspect of jumping to conclusions. Preconceptions make Park Sandbox the endless desert waste. End quote.
But, you're a journalist. You said yourself yesterday.
Well, that's true, yes. But you must understand, I stand before you today with a man with a dream. I'm offering you my testimony in exchange for exclusive rights to the story. Scoop turns Mr. Brushel into that Mr. Brushel, end quote. Let's hear your testimony then, shall we?
A simple case, huh, Gavin? For me, the jury is still out.
I see what they did there.
Hi, Richard. You're breathtaking.
Alright, witness testimony.
Hi, Professor Tom. Hi, everyone. Yeah, Brushel is creepy. Definitely, Bowman. It's that nerdy cloud again, says OH. Yep.
Okay, here we go. Testimony time. The journalist's story. I visited the studio around 9 o'clock that night due to the interview. The first outsider to enter the journalistic history made, end quote. His daughter brought us coffee right after we started. And you know what happened next? Star falls, end quote. No one else entered the room besides her the whole time.
No, that's not true. There was somebody else.
That does sound like a simple case, actually. Unless you were the one who poisoned him. What? What do you say, Judge? Need I remind you, the cameras are rolling today, wink. I felt the need to be a bit more dramatic.
You didn't do it, did you?
But, come on! That's like the newsmaker making the news, end quote. Or even contemporary witch hunt, end quote. I know, wild accusations rock courtroom, end quote.
Rock indeed.
Prosecutor Gavin sure looks like he's having fun.
I'm so happy for him.
Very well, Mr. Justice, your cross-examination, if you please.
Hello, Linky.
Cross-examination.
The journalist's story.
Well, I visited the studio around 9 that night due to the interview.
9 at night? Isn't that a little late for an interview?
Well, if the great painter Drew says come at 9, believe you me, I go at 9. The first and as it turned out, last interview with such a prolific painter.
Right. Can you tell us what it was like when you arrived?
Well, first outsider to enter.
Uh-huh. You were the first reporter ever in Drew's studio?
Posterity.
Posterity will look back on that night as a turning point in journalistic history. Well, basically a significant step for all mankind. But a giant step for that Brushel guy, end quote.
If no one on the outside had access to the studio, then it would serve to reason that the deed was done by an insider. By which he means Vera. So, how did this epic interview go?
Well, his daughter brought us coffee right after we started.
Would you mind being a little bit more specific, please?
Oh, let me tell you, I enjoy a cuppa. In fact, it all began when I was in 3rd grade.
No, that's not what I meant.
Wow.
I believe I know what Herr Forehead is driving at. This coffee the victim was served. Did anyone other than the defendant touch it?
Right, wait, that's where I was going with this.
Well, now if you've got a question to ask, you'd better straight up ask it. That's what I tell all the new recruits several times if necessary. Right for a grade schooler. That's my motto. Which isn't to say I can only write grade school.
Who touched the coffee, fool?
Well, I don't know. I was in the back looking at the studio's equipment when she served it.
And what happened next?
Well, you know what happened next. Star falls, end quote.
Star falls.
What's this about a star falling?
Star falls, huh? It's like an old telegram. Send money over.
Zowie, you don't know. That's like journalism code word. An important personage passes away. A star falls, get it?
But there's no gravity in space, is there? I wouldn't think stars could really fall, really?
Does this matter?
Oh boy, this is good stuff, good stuff. How about star breaks? Nah, lacks punch. I know, star dies. Nah, lacks imagination. Of course you could go with Drew dies. Straight to the point, I like it.
Wow.
I think we need to hear about something a little bit more substantial.
Alright guys, we have some options. The moment of death, Brussels coffee, the star's coffee.
Brushel's coffee. Well, it doesn't matter about Brushel's coffee because he didn't die. And I don't think it matters the moment of... I would say that... I mean, why would it matter what time he died? He obviously died when everyone was there. I would say the coffee matters the most. Like,
You say the coffee
that's the
matters.
whole point of that's the whole point of this entire trial is who poisoned the coffee. I would say that's the most important thing.
So,
What do you guys think in the chat?
the star's coffee then?
Yes, I think so.
Alright.
Coffee, says Richard Taylor.
Alright, the star's coffee. So not Brussels coffee, the star's coffee. Okay.
Yeah.
Choose star's coffee. Let's get that time code in. 18 minutes, 50.
Alright, some people are saying moment of death, says Peter. Moment of death, says OH. Death, says Destroyer. I'm still gonna say coffee.
We're gonna say star's coffee. Alright, star's coffee going once.
You say Mr. Misham had the coffee too, right? But did you actually see him drink the coffee?
Of course! Well, he sees it, wins, but he says it wins bigger, end quote. I live in a man sees dog eat dog and writes about it world, yet... Well, I guess I can't say I saw him drink it, really. He had one so-called sip, if that. Man puts lips to mug, drinks, end quote. That poison is quite nasty, I hear. My stomach did a so-called somersault, since I'd gulped down that coffee without so much as a second glance at it. Wait, maybe something's there, some kind of so-called trick. Anyone want to venture a guess for the record? Does this guy have a pause button? Well, Mr. Justice, did you find that testimony valuable? I don't know.
It didn't really... It just felt like he was just spouting nonsense.
Well, he said something about the first sip, right?
Not really. I don't think it was important. I think we need to try something else.
I don't know. I don't know. I kind of heard what he said. He said something about a sip, I thought. I'm gonna say I think it was important.
Amber's gonna say it's important. I think we'll try to go with Amber's gut.
Whatever you want. I mean, we could always lose. I mean, I don't know.
No,
Whichever one
I don't
we're gonna do.
I don't want to lose a point this.
Well, I don't know which one we're gonna do. Which one is gonna lose? Yours or mine?
We'll try it.
The victim drank his coffee, then immediately fell over.
Oh, yes, you can go to the press with that one.
Your Honor, this is a vital piece of information. Please add it to the testimony.
Very well, the witness will add this coffee thing to the testimony. Vital, right? Oh, boy. He had one sip, if that. The next moment, he was on the floor.
So he either took a sip or he didn't, and then fell over?
Well, yes, indubitably, just like that. Wham bam!
So Mr. Misham drank the coffee and fell over immediately. I think Brussels telling the truth, too. Should I get him to talk about something else? Alright, the other options we have is no need, the moment of death, Brussels coffee. Next options.
Should I get him to talk about something else?
The chat says the moment of death. Thanky! I'm such a good boy.
Where's Zelda at? Is she under the table? Why does she always go under the table now?
Oh, so I guess we get, I mean, we already talked about, we already talked about what's his name. Yeah, we could try Moment of Death. I don't know.
Alright, moment of death time code. Alright guys, you're almost at 100 likes. Keep going, we're 22 minutes in the stream. So, moment of death. Going once, going twice. Sold. I'm about... sorry, got tongue-tied. Blah, 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 blah. It's hard going from, like, regular speaking voice to way up here like Goku, almost.
Yeah.
So nasally and weird. Okay. About when Mr. Misham passed away.
Whoa, oh boy, what a scene that was. He puts his coffee mug down with a crash, right? Yes, and then... Well, then the cold finger of death touches his spine. Life's flame sputters and fails. So cold was that touch he could do naught but tremble uncontrollably. Actually, life's flame is a little tired. Life's river froze over. Yes, that's a go.
I think he's starting his article already.
Could you describe that a little more simply, please? Well, as you can imagine, I was pretty surprised. He hit the floor, as they say. Artist seizure in his final performance, end quote. That poison paralyzed the central nervous system. The body arcs and back... wow. That's quite, I completely missed it, but please don't describe how that poison works. It makes me have fear of it.
Disturbing.
That's quite enough. Some of us want to be able to sleep tonight. Oh yeah? Well, I want details. Lots of juicy details. For that, you can listen to last year's hit single, My Love by the Gavineers, available at all major music outlets. He made a song about the poison? Of course he did.
Wow. Well, that's because they're...
Yeah,
they're like police officer bands, so they would make songs about weird stuff.
That's a little too weird, though. Alright. The point here is that the victim died of some nasty poisoning. Well, Mr. Justice, how did you find that testimony?
Very important, not important. This is a very different type of case.
I don't think it's important, but I don't know.
Amber says not important. Let's try it. Huh? You'd think the moment of Mr. Misham's death... Misham's?
Like, me sham. I am a sham.
Oh, I'm gonna call him Mr. Sham then. That's easier.
Yeah, Mr. Sham.
You'd think the moment of Mr. Sham's death would be important. But Mr. Brushel's story really didn't tell us anything we didn't already know.
Very well, please continue with the testimony. And remember to smile for the cameras. No one else entered the room besides her the whole time.
Well,
Can you say that for sure?
For sure? Sure, I'm sure. Probably. Drew's studio isn't a big place, kiddo. I'd know if someone else had come in.
What if they had been hiding in there before?
Even if someone had been hiding in the studio, they hardly could have poisoned the mug without anyone noticing. You think Spark Russell would miss something as obvious as that? No way!
he sure makes it sound exciting. I guess it's his job.
Yeah, there's only one moment he needs to focus on, really.
The moment when Drew B. Sham died.
Exactly. There has to be something there.
Well, I
Oh,
visited the studio around 9 that night for the interview. The first outsider to enter the journalistic history made, end quote. His daughter brought us coffee right after we started. He had one sip with that, and the next moment he was on the floor. No one else entered the room.
Why did his posture change here?
yeah, he had one sip of that. The next moment he was on the floor.
His posture's fine here. It's fine here. Look at the last statement. He shows emotion. But I don't know what I need to present to talk to him, though. Because, here, look at this part. This is the only time he
Ooh.
changes his body language.
Oh, wow, yeah, he does change his body language there.
Yeah, but see how the body language completely changed?
Yeah, I don't know. You could try to present something. I don't
Also,
know.
why does he look like a clown?
Or it could that statement where it says he had one, where he talked about the coffee, where he said about how he sipped the coffee. You could present the coffee cup, or you could present it on that one. No one entered the room. You don't have anything to present on that. The chat was saying they thought that moment of death was very important.
So here?
One sip, the next moment he was on the floor. Look at how he just ran. I don't know.
Oops.
I mean, is he doing anything different?
Please check the court record. Let's look at the autopsy. Death, poisoning.
Atroquinine, I'm guessing is how you pronounce that. I don't know.
No clues here, but I mean, this literally has poison on it.
I would present the do we have the I would present the coffee cup. So they found one sip. I don't know. Or we could examine it and see if. See that there? That's poison.
Yeah, I see it.
Don't lick it, Apollo.
Don't worry, I'll be fine.
No, you won't. You'll die.
Look, I know, I mean, I won't lick it!
Who knows what you do when I'm not watching?
The concern is touching, really. Next thing you know, she'll be telling me not to drink coffee before bedtime. You shouldn't drink coffee before bedtime.
Well, the fact that he only had one sip.
I mean, but if you sipped from the side that had poison on
I mean, it must have been a ton of. I mean, it must be pretty lethal then.
They said it's pretty lethal. 0.0002% chance. Like, if it, like, being non-fatal. It's an insta-kill.
I mean, I would present the coffee cup. That's what I would do.
Okay, I don't see what you see, but sure, why not?
I mean, or you could try to present it on another statement.
Okay. Coffee cup time code. 29. 20. Coffee cup.
The poison takes 15 minutes to kick in, and he had it at 9 p.m. Oh, it takes 15 minutes to kick in, and Peter says he would have died exactly at 9:15.
Oh.
Oh, so that's interesting. So maybe he didn't die right away. He said he died instantly.
You know what I have a problem with? A particular property of the poison used.
Oh, Prosecutor Gavin was quite clear about that poison. A lethal dosage of 0.002 milligrams paralyzes the central nervous system. If you drank that, even you, Mr. Justice, would be reduced to a quivering pile.
Why are you using me as an example? Unfortunately, we weren't told everything, though.
There was a vital omission in Prosecutor Gavin's information. An omission? Yes, that poison is a,
virulent?
Virulent, as he says. But death doesn't come upon ingestion, not immediately. That's because it's a slow-acting poison. A slow-acting poison? What? According to one forensic scientist...
It's one of the most virulent poisons, but is absorbed into the body astonishingly slowly. I forgot about that. It takes 15 minutes from the time of ingestion to for adverse effects to show.
Wow. If we suppose that the moment Mr. Sham sipped the coffee was when he sealed his fate, then he would still have had time left to enjoy his last cup of joe.
Oh, that was good you remember that, Peter.
Order! Well done, chat. What's the meaning of this? If what the defense says is correct, why that contradicts the entire testimony we've just heard. Well, Mr. Brushel, anything to say on the record?
Slow acting, right? Even then, it had already begun digging its claws into the journalist.
Whoops.
He's working on his scoop, Apollo.
Attention! It's Brushel, yeah? Herr Brushel, let's take a trip back down memory lane. Oh?
Did the victim really die the instant he took the sip?
Think it over. This is vital. You know what I think? I think that was not so subliminal suggestion, end quote. I admit it does cause a problem if he died when you say he died. I would be forced to say, Wiedersehen to my simple case. And you would be forced to say farewell to your article. Come again? You can't write a story based on conjecture, can you? And as the case drags on, other reporters will pick up the scent. And you'll be forced to kiss your exclusive scoop goodbye. Scoop? Scoop?
Yeah, but the thing is, he would still be able to write his article. And also, there's other people in the courtroom that are probably journalists. They would just race to the phone before he could because he's on the stand. How would he get his exclusive? He would have had to write his story before coming to court.
Yeah, now that there are other people probably watching the trial, they'll write it.
Yeah, that's the one thing that doesn't make sense about this, because back in the day, journalists would actually, they would attend the courtroom. They still do. Now they just, text on Twitter about what happens, and then, they text their editor. But before, you would actually have to run to a press phone booth and, call your editor and say, this is what's going on, and your editor would basically be taking citations from what you were saying of, whatever happened, and then they would formulate their article based on that. So, there's probably tons of press actually here right now, so there's no way he would get a scoop anyway. He should have wrote it before he came.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Definitely, Lou.
Look, just wait a second. Just 1 second, please. We're waiting. We're still waiting. Out with it, man. Well, I think I just recalled a so-called important detail. Revival of recollection. End quote. Story survival. End quote.
An attorney utterly confused. End quote.
Actually, I did notice something when I visited the studio. I heard of poison that takes its sweet time, see? But not what I've been saying for the last few minutes, apparently. Mr. Brushel, are you saying you noticed something that explains what happened? You bet I am. The antidote for a poisonous contradiction, end quote, you might say. Or I still have no idea what you're talking about, end quote, I might say. Well, I figured it out, but only after an in-depth interview. See, thanks to my journalism skills, I know who poisoned that coffee. Ay vey. Order! Order in the courtroom!
Yeah, but then they're just going to prove that she didn't bring the coffee in until exactly that time. So, how did... No, never mind. If he died... The autopsy says he died at 9:15 when the coffee was brought in or whatever. So...
Yeah.
We'll have to somehow prove that the poison was somewhere else. As far as I can tell, the witness is standing by his testimony.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
The poison picture.
If it was brought in at 9:15 and he died at 9:15, then he would have eaten something 15 minutes before.
Nor, actually, maybe they can prove that the poison just needs to be, like, absorbed through the skin. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
That Mr. Sham died the instant he drank. Of course, I'm standing by my testimony, and my dream of exclusive rights to this story. I suppose it was too much to hope for. What was? Of course, he wouldn't choose a simple case, not him. Him? Phoenix Wright. Who else? Huh? Acton, Herr Brushel. Report for us if you would. What is it that you noticed? Oh... This court is critical trial of the new justice system. I'm afraid no room for doubt is permissible. You will testify to the court about what you noticed. Did I sound cool? Witness testimony again. This is now what Brushel noticed. Okay.
Because if it's poison that can be absorbed through the skin, that picture he was messing with would probably, you know...
Hi, Crossfighter. Good to see you, too. Thank you so much. Always great to see you. Don Haka says, it wasn't in the coffee for sure. If he drank that and died instantly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, his name is Brushel. Brushel Sweatings is Tim Moeller. Yeah, people were saying he's Brushel because he uses brushes.
Yeah,
he has all these brushes with him.
He likes to brush his teeth. Link, your head is like literally hanging over the edge of the couch. Are you okay?
I hate how this witness looks as Mario Baskel.
Yeah, it looks a little weird.
It looks like he has toothpaste all over. He's just supposed to be a funny character.
Yeah, that's toothpaste all over his face. It's not a beard. It just looks weird.
Yep.
When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Sham was at his desk. He seemed to be writing a letter, but he quickly sealed the envelope. I thought nothing of it at the time, but of course, now that I think about it, what if he was writing a suicide note? Huh?
Why would he be writing a suicide note?
A suicide note? Yes, he had this look on his face. Man's face inscrutable as a...
Quadratic
equation, end quote.
Suicide? Poor Mr. Misham! But that means Vera's innocent!
Would someone commit suicide in the middle of an interview?
Yeah. Oh, right.
Well, I mean, it depends how much the interviewer annoyed you or what they were saying.
It depends how bad the interviewer was.
If the interview was someone from Sweet Baby Incorporated, maybe.
Very well, you may begin your cross-examination.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying. Especially if it's on a high-rise building. What Brushel noticed.
Oh my gosh, Luke.
I mean, it'd be better than talking to them.
When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Sham was at his desk.
Oh my god.
Was there anyone at the studio other than Mr. Misham?
Well, his daughter Vera, of course.
Was anyone besides the Mishams and Vera present?
Not a single one. Not a cat, not a rat, not even a mouse.
Well, the only problem who didn't belong to that studio there was you, wasn't it, Mr. Brushel?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're doing. I know your game.
Look at his face.
Attorney uses classic Ramshadam phenomenon ploy, end quote. If you intend to suggest that the reporter is a suspect, I'm sure you also intend to present evidence supporting that assertion, yeah? In the meantime, let's move along, shall we? It seemed to be writing a letter, but he quickly sealed the envelope.
Link is adorable. So he put the letter away when he saw you.
Early reporter gets the worm, end quote. That's my secret. Oh.
Wow, Link is being super cute.
Yeah, he is.
I'm not sure I follow. It's the night of the interview. I arrive 15 minutes ahead of schedule. The handle turns, the door opens, and I barge in.
Are you sure that's okay to do? I mean, isn't that unlawful entry, really?
Mr. Sham sure seemed to think so. You should have seen him. He crammed his letter into that yellow envelope as fast as he could. I know his secret when I spot one, and that was definitely one of them. It does seem significant. Well, Mr. Justice?
I wonder... It does have the ring of something important. Add to the testimony because we need to be able to show the envelope in question. Probably.
Yeah, probably. Luke.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Oh yeah, there was an envelope at the crime scene.
Alright, the defense finds this testimony...
The defense finds this very vital to the testimony, Your Honor.
Very well, please add it to the testimony then, Mr. Clownface. Hey! Why not? My account comes free of charge.
It's not like you're being paid, you're not a juror.
It was a yellow envelope. I heard it was left at the crime scene.
It's a red envelope. And you saw him seal this yellow envelope with the letter?
Hey, don't look at me like that. I saw what I saw.
Paulo, you think this might be...
Our big break, yeah. What I need to show is some decisive evidence now.
Well, I thought of nothing. Nope, go back. It was a yellow envelope. No, it wasn't. It's red. It's a red envelope.
Present the red one, Luke.
There we go. Red envelope. Time code.
All right, let's go, Apollo. With the case is ours. The case is afoot, Watson.
I don't know if it'd be a foot, but it's red letter.
You know, you said the thing about the person committing, self-yeet in the middle of an interview.
Selfie.
I was thinking about, what about Bob when he's like, it's death therapy, Bob. He's like, death therapy? He's like, awesome. He's like, and he wraps those those explosive devices around him, and then he's like, I just need to untangle my problems.
Okay, all right.
And then he's like, he's like, where did you put the bomb, Bob? In your house. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Present.
Let's go.
As it just so happens, there was a single letter in a desk drawer at the scene. In a red envelope. Whoa! Prosecutor Gavin.
Yes?
Why was a yellow envelope found at the scene of the crime?
Unfortunately, no. But Herr Forehead, it's easy to mistake the color of an envelope.
I guess, but not this envelope. You see, it was postmarked already 7 years ago.
Well, Mr. Brushel, I can explain that. Drew Wright, he wanted to get that letter in an envelope pronto. Get it out of sight of my beady eyes, right? So he grabbed the nearest envelope and crammed it away. And what about the whole red and yellow envelope contradiction, chump? Well, Mr. Justice, have you anything to say to the witness's claim?
That night, the victim put a letter he had been writing in a red envelope.
I'd say it's impossible. I don't know.
I don't know, actually. I don't know.
I say it's impossible. That's what my gut is telling me.
I have no idea, actually.
That's fair.
What do you guys... We'll go with Luke. Do you want to go with... Yeah, we'll go with what you said, Luke.
Alright, so my gut says it's impossible, so we're gonna try that. Here we go.
That's impossible. I have confidence, so maybe it's right.
Ah, I like your expression. So full of confidence.
It's simple, really. As it just so happens, the defense team investigated the contents of this envelope with the assistance of a forensic scientist.
What?
Note that this letter is addressed to Drew Measham.
Whoa!
Why would he address a letter to himself? Let alone send a suicide note to himself.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Whoa, I've been scooped!
Oh my god.
Yeah, but now you just... If you would have gotten off on a suicide, then the girl would be fine.
Yeah.
Now you put her back in suspicion again. Order! Order in the court! Mr. Brushel, can you explain this to the court? Oh my, how could I have forgotten? I suppose this happens to the best of us. Reporter gets old, forgets lots, end quote. I'm still waiting for an explanation, Mr. Brushel. Well, that's the thing, see? After he put the letter in that envelope, Mr. Sham sat there searching his desk drawer for something.
His desk drawer?
Yes, a stamp, a so-called postage stamp, end quote. A stamp? Whatever for? Well, to mail his letter, what else? And then, why yes, I think he put it in this letter box. Yes, it was a yellow envelope. He put it in that box. Well, apparently this yellow letter has nothing to... Oh, I wish it did! I just think if it were a suicide note, what a story. Star writes suicide note in front of reporter falls, end quote.
I was saying that has nothing to do with this case. That said...
Yes, Your Honor?
It makes me wonder about the contents of the red envelope. I'm very curious.
Okay. They're showing us the contents of the red envelope.
I guess the judge is looking.
100,000 is quite a good deal of money.
Uh-oh. So this was from 7 years ago, yeah? Don't we have another controller? Should I try it?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll try
That's
it.
fine.
Oh. Oops. Hey, there we go. And we'll plug this one in later. Because we don't need two controllers right now. So, oh baby, you don't need to do that now. What are you talking about? I'm not being weird. I mean, I got a lot of sleep. Maybe I'm a lot nicer when I sleep. Okay, well that's fine. You're gonna make me sleep more often? Okay. So this is from 7 years ago, yeah? Actually, Amber has a new policy she's making me do. If I am up past working past like 8 or 9 in the morning, I can't stream until 6. So she does the 4 o'clock stream.
That's my new rule for Luke.
So.
If he's working so hard that he's up past 8:30 in the morning, he can't do this 4 o'clock stream.
Yeah, she doesn't let me.
So even if you guys get 1,000 views for it, it's either gonna have to be moved to after like 8. That's why this stream was moved to 8:30.
Well, we had the PlayStation event. This would have gone at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. So this is from 7 years ago, yeah? So, am I finished here? I mean, I'm finished here, right? I need to go write my paper. I was thinking of, you know, going home to start writing. Everyone is stunned. I hate to state what should be pretty obvious to anyone, but when you catch a scent of a story, you make that, rather unique face. Oh, come on! Attorney has active imagination, little else. End quote. Even I noticed something, and my eyes aren't what they used to be. You know, I'm starting to understand what all this perceiving stuff is about. Judge has active imagination. End quote. Please continue with your testimony. This is rather intriguing. Tell us about the scent of the story. Hey, I'm the one asking the questions here, usually. Ooh.
Not anymore, dude. You're on the witness stand.
He is on the witness stand. Alright.
So he already gave his testimony.
Hi, Linky.
He talked about
scent of the story. Okay. The scent of the story. Ow,
yeah, it doesn't really feel like it gave much information on it.
Actually, it took a bit of work to get thumbs up on the interview. Reporter leverages story, gets interview, end quote. The story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago. That red envelope probably had something to do with it. Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare. His talent of forgery? So
Right.
you threatened to go to the press with the story, I assume? That's how you got your interview, blackmail.
Well, yes. Like, it's okay.
I mean, no. I wasn't exactly, blackmailing. I mean, I'm not, something wrong, Mr. Brushel? It appears you're having some problems on the stand.
This guy.
Look, this
seems
is
sus.
my story. My tidbit journalist info is livelihood, end quote. I see. Well, you have me chatting away in here. What's going on out there, right? What if some Wally Woodworth or Sally Scooper gets wind of my story? They could be going to the press while I'm going to waste. The court feels your pain, Mr. Brushel. Mr. Justice, let's pick up the pace.
A certain case 7 years ago. Wait! 7 years ago! Trucy's case.
Cross-examination.
Oh, Trucy's case.
Yeah, Trucy's involved. I believe her mom was killed.
Oh, wow.
She lost both her parents.
That's so sad.
Actually, it took a bit of work to get the thumbs up on the interview. The victim, Drew Sham, had an aversion to reporters, yes? Oh boy, I guess. Not even my considerable charms did much for him.
You don't seem charming at all, though.
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of the guy that Phil punches in Groundhog Day. Ned?
Yeah, he does remind me of that guy.
Yeah, the guy who did the whistling belly button trick at the school talent show. Yeah.
Yep.
Until I finally got my thumbs up, that is. Maybe you can elaborate on that a bit for us. Reporter leverages story, gets his interview, end quote. I don't know if people even remember Groundhog's Day, but it's a great movie.
Yeah, well, we just had Groundhog's Day recently.
Oh, I didn't even know. Did he see a shadow?
I don't remember.
Oh, I'll have to look it up. Exactly what sort of story was this? Oh, a little one, like I said. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing in between, end quote. It might have suggested I had a lead on this particular story, but I didn't threaten her, Kaholi or nothing.
So a suggestion was enough to get an interview? I don't think so. Mr. Sham must have really wanted to keep it under wraps.
The story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago.
Case?
Uh-huh. A certain case from 7 years ago? Tell us what case.
Let me state one thing, Mr. Attorney, and you can quote me on this. I can't talk about that case.
Why not?
It's about journalist pride and, credibility and connections. Journalist reveals sources only over his dead body, end quote. So what'll it be? Gonna strangle me? Dead men don't tell tales, Mr. Attorney. He sounds pretty determined not to talk.
Our chances of breaking his will aren't looking good, Apollo.
Yeah, I realize this.
That's the envelope. Probably had something to do with it.
On one hand, we have your story, and on the other hand, we have this letter. What makes you think the two are related?
Oh, I was just saying it's possible. Call it reporter's intuition, end quote. Hey, I say a lot of things. You're gonna pick them all apart? Be my guest.
All of them. No, just the incredibly suspicious ones.
Yeah, right?
I see. Anything else to add to your report, Mr. Sham? I mean, about Mr. Sham?
Yeah, about he sounds like a sham.
Say what you will about Drew's talent.
Yeah, his talent for forgery.
Just how amazing was Mr. Sham's talent?
Whoa, huh? Oh, boy, I mean, hey, he's a star, man, a star. The flow of his brush is like a great, undulting river across the canvas. Artist paints lights up studio like sun, end quote.
This guy is full of wacky gestures, but that one just now was wackier than usual.
Oh, on the last statement?
Yeah, the last statement we gotta do our present thing.
He looks kind of weird, Apollo.
Yeah, definitely I'm sensing different than before here. I mean, why is he washing his glasses with his toothbrush and then licking it? Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to bring the you-know-what out, my man bracelet.
That testimony left a bad taste in my mouth, Apollo.
Oh, yep, it all makes sense. Nothing jumps out as ridiculous, though.
I wonder what this story he's talking about is. It must have been good to get an interview with a famous recluse like that.
Something powerful enough to drag Drew Sham out of hiding. I wonder, maybe that's something to do with Mr. Sham's art.
Yeah, he was probably blackmailing him.
I mean, journalists. Depends on the type of field reporter. Alright, so we're gonna do perceive, huh?
I guess so. We're using our manlet. His talent was without compare. Let's perceive.
He's tapping the... Wait, he's tapping the toothbrush on his head. Oh wait, no, here he is. He has a toothbrush there. He's also doing the same thing there.
Alright, let's perceive on...
The last statement?
Yeah, where he says his talent is beyond compare. That's the one Tracy said was the problem.
Alright.
She said he was weirder than normal.
Okay.
Alright, I guess we're gonna have to... There's his face. What about his hands and his arms? What about further? Let's see. Here again, I guess.
Can only see one of his arms.
Wait, I thought I saw something down near his, like near his, where his,
Where?
like, our arm connects to his shoulder.
There?
No, like, further down, like his armpit, almost.
His armpit?
I don't know. Oh, I guess I didn't see anything. I thought I saw something.
Okay.
I don't know where it is. I mean, they said it's the statement. I mean, Trucy said this was the one where he sounded weird.
I did not see an arm. This is an armpit, right? I'm not seeing anything move.
Well, I thought I saw something move earlier.
Where did you think you saw something move?
Like, below his arm. I don't know. Oh, wait. Maybe try the other... Yeah. Oh, wait. Something did happen.
That's his left thing.
Oh, I saw it on that one then. Sorry.
Okay. He's sweating.
That was
Sweat
weird.
much, Mr. Brushel? Need some deodorant? Yes, well,
It's weird that you're watching him sweat.
a man can't help his glands, you know. Oh my gosh. Present armpit.
How would he know he's sweating?
I don't know.
Man, he's got huge teeth. I mean, I guess that's good, though.
Sure, we'll go with that. 54. Present armpit. That's... I can't believe I wrote that as a time code. Alright. Man can't help his glands, you know. It's more than that, though. When Mr. Sham's talent was mentioned, you suddenly began to sweat buckets. Ah! You're hiding something about his talent. What? That's ridiculous. Evidence time. Let's show Mr. Sham's true talent lay. Just so happens I have evidence showing the talent mentioned in that letter. Probably one of the paintings where he's a forger.
Yeah, the forger painting. Yeah, that one, because it's a different sketch than the other. Yeah, that's his forgery, because that's his sketch. The rough sketch is only half hidden by the oil painting, Apollo.
I'll never understand artists.
Still, it's pretty impressive.
I suppose so.
I wouldn't think you could hide such a dark sketch under a little paint.
Well, it's called oil paint for a reason. I bet it's pretty oily, the paint, I mean.
I'm still waiting for you to get to your point, Apollo.
Wow, okay. Alright, we'll present this painting. I can't help but wonder what the court is supposed to conclude from this evidence? Oh! Other than that, you've made a horrible mistake. Man burns bridges, forgets to cross first? End quote? What? I thought I used the right painting.
Yeah, we used the right one. That was his sham painting.
That shouldn't be so hard, right? Just so happens I have the evidence showing the talent mentioned in the letter, but I showed the painting.
Oh, wait. Is there another version of that painting?
Oh, yeah.
So there's the original. So maybe we should show that because that's the original? Because I think that's the original that he was forging from. Because that's not his painting. That's the other person.
Okay.
Maybe we could try that one. I don't know. Just trying to guess.
This painting was found in Mr. Sham's studio. Ah! There are two problems with this painting. The first is it wasn't printed by Mr. Sham. The second is that there was another painting in the studio, which looked exactly like this one, except it was only half done. Then we have a letter discussing a payment of $100,000, which suggests a certain business operation. The business of making forgeries. Whoa!
He twists his tie around his face.
And his neck.
Looks disturbing.
He looks like a Picasso painting, actually.
Yeah, he does.
That is all, Your Honor. Everyone, please! Everyone!
Can we keep this private, please? This is my story, my scoop. Forgery, that's a serious crime. Drew Hashem is known as an artist these days, but there were rumors he dabbled in another kind of art until a few years back. Another art mentioned, forgery. Drew Hashem was talented, alright, talented at making precise, detailed fakes. In fact, the certain criminal elements were quick to discover.
Criminal elements? What? You can't seriously be talking about...
Exactly. I'm talking about forging evidence. The rumors started circulating 7 years ago. 7 years ago? So are we to understand that this letter, this payment of 100,000 was for... Exactly. Forged evidence. Nets tidy profits, end quote.
I don't even know what half his end quote stuff means.
Order! I will have order in this court.
You need 140 likes next goal. Whoops.
Alright, great job with the likes, everyone. Thanks so much. And great job with helping us on the case. Thank you, guys and gals.
Wrong painting. Alright, we have the right painting now.
So people were saying, wrong painting. Do the other one. Thanks, guys.
Order! I will have order in my courtroom, please. Why, it looks like our victim was living a double life.
Aha! This is my chance.
You could have gotten her off on suicide, buddy.
So the victim had ties to the criminal world, right? He could have had plenty of enemies we know nothing about.
Objection! This is my first time hearing of this criminal world. We certainly found no criminal connections when we conducted our investigation.
Objection! But how do you explain all this money? You have to admit there's a possibility of some illegal activity here.
Objection! But there's no proof of tying this letter to our case. Oops. Our case was and remains simple from the beginning. Only the defendant could have poisoned that mug that night. And you, of course... Hey! The only thing I poison is my pen when I'm writing reviews. Wow. Mr. Brushel, your testimony to this point has been quite unreliable. It doesn't speak well of your reporting. What are you talking about? My journalism is rock solid. Journalism is so solid you could stand an elephant on it. End quote. In any case, let's hear a summarized recap of your testimony. If we can ascertain the situation in that studio from the recap, the trial is over.
Wow. Apollo? What is he talking about?
The cross-examination showed Mr. Brushel didn't have a reason or means to poison him. As long as there's no other suspects, then the killer had to be Vera, that's what. The next testimony is our last chance.
Mr. Brushel, your testimony, please.
A witness testimony. The interview recap. All right. This is 1 hour and 3 minutes. Interview recap. All right. Interview recap. Here we go. And good job, guys, on the likes and shares. Keep it up. Let's try to get to 140 if we can.
Great job, everyone.
Well, the only other person in the studio that night was the defendant. It was Vera who poured the coffee. She admitted as much as herself. The only thing that touched was Drew's lips during the interview was that mug, and nothing left that studio after he died. Nothing. Clearly, the only one who could have poisoned him was his daughter.
I have a theory.
A nice testimony, clear and without room for doubt.
If there really was poison on that picture and he was touching it prior, maybe when he grabbed the coffee, he accidentally put his thumb on the lip of the glass when he picked it up. So if he had poison on his hand,
wow,
and he grabbed, because not everybody always grabs the handle when somebody hands them the coffee. Sometimes, and people who aren't germ conscious, they'll accidentally put their, one of their fingers on the lip of the coffee.
Yeah.
Mug. And if he had poison on his fingers to begin with, well, that could have done it. So it could have been an accidental death. Or maybe he was trying to poison somebody with the letter he was sending. Who knows?
Oh, wow, Luke.
A nice testimony, clear and to the point. Oh, yeah, shucks. You really think so? I believe this clarifies the situation that night. Very well, Mr. Justice. You may begin your final cross-examination.
Right, sure. I still have one trump card left to play, though. And I won't let this trial end until I use it.
One trump card left, Luke. Great job on the 125 likes, guys and gals.
Wow, 125.
Almost to 130.
The only other person in the studio that night was the defendant.
But that doesn't prove Farrah poisoned it.
Objection!
How many times have we heard that one, Herr Forehead? The poison reached its victim via that coffee mug. From what? And from where did that coffee mug come from? Not to beat a dead horse again and again, but perhaps you could fill us in. I'm on it. You need a horse beat? I'm your man.
Oh my gosh!
It was Vera who poured the coffee.
And you witness her pouring the coffee?
Of course I didn't witness it when she came in with that tray. The coffee was already poured in and steaming. Let us not forget the defendant has admitted to pouring the coffee herself. Instead, her statement, I poured, I served, and I killed.
What?
What?
She did not say killed.
That last part was just a little joke.
I don't think I'm gonna get anywhere with this coffee mug. I need to find another weak spot in this case.
The only thing that touched Drew's lips during the interview was that mug.
You're sure about that?
Well, to be really, really precise, I was busy gobbling mint candies the whole time.
One of those candies might have been poisoned.
Objection!
Yet at the same time of the autopsy, no fresh fragrance of mint filled the room. And no mint residue was found.
Well, it was a long shot anyway.
Don't tell me you're still trying to prove this. You think the victim ate, drank, or otherwise ingested something other than coffee? Well, Mr. Justice, if you have some proof...
The possibility is there, I can feel it, just maybe not there yet.
Not there yet.
The possibility isn't going to cut down, not now. Mr. Sham ingested that poison via another route, other than coffee, and I can prove it. Proof is possible. I gotta risk it.
Oh, excellent. Let's see your proof then. Please show us your evidence.
I'm gonna go with the picture.
Something he could have licked, or, yeah.
What evidence shows that the victim wasn't poisoned via the coffee mug?
Could have touched his mouth.
What is this? The tiny frame. Why would he lick the frame, though?
There's a frame. There was... What else was he doing? He was writing a letter, and they said he put a stamp on it.
There's a stamp on here?
He said he... I thought that other guy said he put a stamp on it.
But the problem
Oh, no, he said he put a stamp on the yellow letter.
Yeah.
Yeah, what were you gonna say?
I mean, the only thing that I have that has poison on it is this picture. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. The little frame, yeah, that has poison on it.
Alright, here we go. 108. Present tiny picture.
I don't even know what that little thing is.
I don't know. Maybe it's like... I have no idea. Here we go.
Must I explain this over and over? We don't need possibilities here, Herr Forehead. We need proof.
I know that!
You should also know that every proof has its moment. Perhaps you're a bit early? I can tell you what we know at this point. The victim put nothing to his mouth but that coffee mug.
Another hole in this case that needs plugging before I can prove anything. But first things first, I better uncover a weak spot before I try to strike again.
On with the cross-examination.
Okay, so I didn't get a penalty, and it is proper evidence, but it's not yet. That's a problem.
Interesting. Nothing left the studio after he died. Nothing. Well, did we already press this? Or no? Did we already press this statement, sweetheart?
Yeah, but we didn't get a penalty, though. So,
Nothing? Oh, yeah, so maybe we have to do that. Maybe we'll do that later in the case.
yeah, we're on the right track, but it's too early to present that.
Then this is the next thing he said. Nothing left the studio after he died. Nothing. But something could have left with him. He could have taken something out of the studio. Maybe. I don't know.
Not one thing, you're sure?
Yup, sure as sure can be. Well, with one exception. One exception? What? Journalist Spark Brushel does interview, leave studio, end quote. Come on. It's a joke, get it? Not funny, I know, but still.
Did something leave the studio that night? Why does that sound familiar? Where have I heard something like that before?
Now that we've proven our witness is a comedian of sorts, I'd like to turn to our defense attorney before returning to the testimony. Do you have any idea what, if anything, might have left the studio that night?
Well, didn't they say there was that? He said that he had put a yellow letter in a box. Maybe that left the studio. I thought that they said that was on the outside of his studio, and it goes between him and the outside world.
Okay.
I thought that was on the outside, and people could put letters in the box or take them out.
All right. I think one thing might very well have left the studio that night, actually. A certain something that has vanished from the crime scene.
By which you mean... something other than our witness? Something other than our witness?
Of course.
Yeah, he said he saw the yellow letter.
Don't tell me, Vera. Believe me, any comic relief I may provide is entirely unintentional. Then let's see what you've got for us, Mr. Justice.
Well, this thing wasn't at the scene of the crime, so I can't show it to you. But I do have evidence that shows that it could have been taken from the scene.
The mailbox?
Yeah, I guess we could try that.
Alright.
Well, I'm just guessing. I hope we don't get a penalty, because we only have 3 penalties left. This is a tough case, because we don't have a lot of evidence at all. And literally, our girl that we're supposed to be defending, she has hardly said anything to us. And we have, like, no evidence at all. And also, the person we're defending and the person who died is literally a criminal. So it's like, it doesn't... It's so frustrating, like, there's no way... And also, it doesn't make any sense that she would have killed him, because... It doesn't make any sense she would have killed her dad, because she could have killed him anytime. Why would she wait till the reporter was there and do it? And why would she kill him if he was making tons of money with forgeries? I would have been like, oh, awesome, Dad's raking in the cash. This is a good
Yeah,
good
he's
thing for
making
me.
money, so it wouldn't make sense to kill him.
Yeah, I would present the box. I don't know.
I mean, we could try the tiny box. We'll just get a penalty. I'm gonna try it.
Or is there something else? I don't know.
I mean, we've already presented the letter, but we can't actually look at the stamp. It's either 3 choices. It would be the letter box, the red envelope, or the picture frame, but I don't see how the picture frame would work in that context. I'm gonna try presenting the box. We'll see what... Actually, you know what? Because we already have 1 penalty. Oh, we can't save. Never mind.
Oh, wait, we can't save?
No.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah. Alright, we're gonna try the letter box. This is the only link between the studio and the outside world. Okay, that's probably it. Alright, here we go.
I don't know, because...
A letterbox?
What did Mr. Brushel just tell us? When he entered the studio on the night of the murder, the victim had just finished writing a letter.
Yeah, I said that, and yeah, that was true.
Furthermore, you went on to tell us that he put the letter in a yellow envelope and put it in the letter box.
Ah!
But at that very same letter box was empty. In other words, that night, the yellow envelope disappeared.
Objection!
Ah, yes, intriguing. So an envelope has disappeared from the scene of the crime. Of course, this changes nothing.
Huh?
He has a point, Mr. Justice. What we're trying to figure out is how the poison got into Mr. Sham. Is it really important that this envelope your witness says he saw disappeared?
Well, if it did disappear, then something did leave the studio that night. That seems very important to me.
Very well, then. The witness will add this to the testimony. You got it!
I still think this fails to change anything here, Forehead. I wouldn't be so sure. A letter disappeared from the crime scene that night. This is exactly the opening I've been looking for.
We're gonna leave no stone unturned.
A letter was put in the post from the studio, but I hardly think that matters. Nothing could be more serious than an envelope disappearing from that studio. And you're hiding that fact from us. Yes, well, actually, I don't argue the possibility the letter disappeared from that studio. But Herr Forehead, isn't there a much more serious question before us? Right, how Mr. Sham was poisoned, I know. But Mr. Brushell's testimony has changed, which means the facts of the case have too. And what he's told us means something entirely different now. I'm starting to think.
Let's keep thinking, Apollo!
Clearly, the only one who could have poisoned him was his daughter. You say clearly as though it were obvious. But the claim that the defendant poisoned the victim is merely conjecture. Oh, yes, well, you see, in my business, it's all about making the most ridiculous things sound right. A bad habit, I know. Yes, well, actually, I guess there's more case of ridiculous journalist sounds wrong, end quote. The court is forced to agree with you. Please refrain from wild conjecture. Understood and clear.
Wow.
Only I could believe that.
What do you think, Apollo? Everything he's saying seems so not flawed.
Try to sit still, honey.
Sorry.
Well, that's kind of what you went from... Wow. That's kind of what you want from a testimony, really. I need to keep my eye on what matters. How and why was Drew killed? Vera poured the coffee, that's not going to change. But if that coffee didn't kill him, I need to find what did and prove it. It's the picture frame, but how do I present it?
Maybe you can do it now because we did that other thing. I don't know.
But I have to choose the right statement to present the picture frame.
I think you should try exactly what you did last time. Do that one. And then, maybe press it or something and then see what happens.
Everybody's saying the fourth statement. A letter was put in the post from the studio, but hardly think that matters.
I wouldn't. You already... I wouldn't. I don't think that matters. I mean, you can press it, but I wouldn't put anything on that one. We already know that the statement we want to put something on is about his lips.
Okay. Alright, I will say we'll try statement 3. Because that's the only one that talks about...
Yeah, I would present that little thing that you were gonna present last time. I could be wrong. If not, we'll go with the chat things then.
Can we save? We're gonna save, just in case. Not autosave. Where is is this it? Yeah. Oh no!
What?
No!
Oh, you put load instead of save?
Oh shoot.
Oh my gosh. Well, I guess we're doing this entire thing over again.
Well, not the voice acting. We're just gonna have it go through.
Oh wow, Luke.
I hit the wrong button. Alright, we'll just have to go through our evidence again. I can get us back there in like 10 minutes or 5 minutes. I made a mistake. I was trying to save because I was worried about getting a penalty.
Okay, let's try to remember what we were supposed to do.
Wait, I can load the autosave? You sure? Where's it say autosave?
I don't see any autosave.
I don't see an autosave. Where are you saying? Where's an autosave?
You guys sure there's an autosave? I don't see an autosave.
Where does it say autosave? You see anything that says autosave? I don't.
I mean, you could always load whatever you did last time.
I am on load.
We are on load.
I don't see anything that says autosave. There's nothing that says autosave.
one you saved was the bottom one, right?
I don't know how to load an autosave. What are they talking about? I went to records.
Where is the autosave if there is?
Right, I went to records. It says load.
Yeah,
This is the load menu.
Who are you saying that to, me or the chat? Because I can clearly see there's no autosave.
I'm selecting load. Look. There is nothing that says autosave.
Where do you guys see the autosave?
Where are you guys seeing the autosave? I don't understand.
When you're on the... Oh, you mean like that?
I have no idea what they're talking about. I'm gonna load game.
There!
Where?
At the top. At the top.
I am in the top.
It has to be white on it. It says autosave right at the top.
That's white?
Yes. Why do you have it on no?
What do you mean? This is yes, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I don't even know where we are. And this is save, right? White is save, yes?
White is what you're on, exactly. I would go to one of the grays and put it white. There. There you go.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, that was frustrating. Well, I guess we're gonna do this part again. Sorry about that, guys.
I need to keep my eye on what matters. How and why was Dr. whatever, Drew killed? Vera poured the coffee, that's not going to change. But if that coffee didn't kill him, I need to find what did improve it.
Okay.
So we were on the third statement and we were getting ready to present.
Was Vera who poured the coffee? Okay.
So we'll try this.
It was Vera who poured the coffee. The only thing that touched Drew's lips during the interview was the mug. But I don't know if this is before or after we did that other thing.
We've already presented everything.
Alright, so then let's try, I would present the...
You're sure about that? Well, to be really precise, I was busy gobbling mint candies the whole time. One of those candies might have been poisoned. No, we've already done this one. We just had this autoplay. We already did this one.
On that... I would present the tiny frame on that one.
On this one?
On the...
On the third option? Okay.
On the one where he says the only one that touched his lips. Misham adjusted. Can I prove it?
Yeah, alright.
Yep, I can prove it. Yeah, do it.
Proof is possible. Here goes nothing.
And you want to present the other thing that had poison on it in that room.
Okay, here we go. Proof, Hair Forehead, not possibilities. Of course, and Prosecutor Gavin, I hope you understand, I'm ready to give you that proof. What did you say? I have proof of the disappearing envelope. Well, I saw him writing a letter, I did. Which is picked up by the mailman, I assume. Of course, which means... that envelope had a stamp on it. A stamp? As we all know, stamps come with dried glue on the back. In order to use the glue, you have to wet it. By licking the stamp.
Oh, wow.
No one worth talking to actually licks stamps in this day and age. Even if you wanted to talk to him, you couldn't. He's dead after all. Wow. Okay, so we licked the stamp, but wait. How does that explain the poison on the rim of the coffee mug? If he licked the back of a stamp, the poison would get on his tongue, yes? What would then happen if you put the mug to his mouth? Traces on the mug weren't the killer's doing, it was the other way around. What?
Oh, wow.
The coffee mug didn't poison Mr. Sham. Mr. Sham poisoned the coffee mug himself. Whoa.
Oh, interesting. Wow, this is really interesting.
Order! I will have order in this court.
I didn't even think that was what happened. Wow.
That's what happened.
So that little tiny frame, maybe it was holding an old stamp. And he had it saved, like, just for writing that letter eventually.
Yeah. Pressure.
Yeah, they don't make you lick stamps anymore. Now they're all sticky.
They're all sticky stamps. Yeah.
But you used to have to lick them. I remember having to lick stamps.
Alright. But that doesn't... What? But that doesn't, does it? Recall if you would, Your Honor. The poison is a slow-acting one, right? The poison entered his body when he put the stamp on that envelope. But this time, his time wasn't up until the very moment he touched his lips to the cup of coffee. Fascinating.
Oh, wow.
Wow. But you have something to add, Mr. Brushel? Uh-oh, his nose is picking up another scent. As I believe I mentioned earlier. Well, that's the thing, see? After he put his letter in that envelope, Mr. Sham sat there searching his desk drawer for something. A stamp, a so-called postage stamp, end quote. But you know, I don't seem to remember him ever finding one. Maybe he just ran out. Incidentally, we searched the desk drawer at the scene of the crime. There were no stamps, not a single one. Uh-oh. That does pose a problem. How will you prove that the stamp was coated with poison? Actually, I'm glad no other stamps were found. It makes proving the stamp he used was poison possible. Ha ha ha! Good show, good show. You can even prove there was a stamp at the scene in the first place? Well, let's hear what the defense has to say anyway. Where's your evidence that proves the existence of this poison stamp? The picture. Now it's the picture.
Yeah, maybe, or...
I mean, it has poison on it.
Yeah, but what did the, What did the letter say again? Didn't it say use enclosed stamp in the letter or something like that?
Using what? Design, please send a receipt once you've confirmed the transfer. Sign the papers and send an enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp within 3 days. I need not remind you to speak this to anyone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it does say that. So,
yeah, it says that, but that might be not... You may... Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, maybe you should present that little thing, because that does show that there was a stamp there, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I guess use your little frame. That was your idea.
I don't know. I think it would be the red envelope again. Like, sometimes you do present the same evidence over and over again. So, I'm gonna try it.
Okay.
Because it says, use the enclosed stamp that was there, so...
I would...
Alright.
I think you were right. I don't know, but whatever you want to do, Luke.
Okay, well, I mean, my gut tells me it's the tiny frame, but this one actually talks about the enclosed stamp, so...
What do you guys think? Well, what do you... Chat, what do you want us to do? You want us to do the frame or the envelope? Well, unfortunately, we're really delayed. So we could ask the question, it could be like 40 seconds before people answer.
I think it's the... I mean, it's either the frame or it's the letter. It's 50-50.
I'm gonna go with what you said at the beginning. Well, you said the frame, so I'll go with that. I think some of the chat is saying frame, so...
Alright, I'm gonna try the frame.
You said frame, the chat's saying frame. I'll go with you guys.
Well, that certainly is a cute little frame. And little by little, I mean really little. It was on the victim's desk, Your Honor. Quite empty, as you can see for yourself. I noticed that too during my inspection, so what? Apparently, you weren't as observant as you should have been. You see, when you saw this frame, it was missing something quite important.
Missing something?
Yes, a pale bluish stain on the inside of the frame. Poison residue.
What? Why wasn't I told about this?
The frame is only 2 inches square. The face of the frame is even smaller. Maybe an inch at wide at most.
You aren't saying...
I am. Oh, but I am. Tell me what fits in this small picture frame. A commemorative stamp, perhaps?
Order! I will have order! The poison stamp was in this frame? Impossible!
Punches the wall.
Prosecutor Gavin! Why would he put something like that on his desk? Don't tell me he had it there so he could commit suicide and the mood struck him! You know, I can say something. I had thought, you see. What is it, Mr. Brushel? And please stop jetting around like that. It's very annoying.
Yeah.
The victim was a forger, right? There's a lot of money in that line of work. Forger forges friends, makes enemies too, end quote.
So the poison stamp might have been a murder weapon aimed at him.
Yeah, like someone gave it to him or something.
Oh, rich. That's rich. Leave the ridiculous fights of fancy to the Gavineers' song lyrics, please. Finally, something we agree on. The stamp was a murder weapon? Nonsense. The murder is simple business. Who would go to such lengths? No one.
Oh, I disagree.
Come again?
Recall, if you would, the victim's reclusive lifestyle. Drew Sham hid from the world. He avoided meetings. His only contact with the outside world was the mail.
The mail!
Now, if you wanted to kill someone you couldn't meet, but you knew he read letters, a stamp would be the perfect weapon.
Ridiculous! Where's your proof? I want proof! Show us evidence that this poison stamp was sent to him as a murder weapon!
I might not have evidence, per se, but things are finally starting to come together. Wow, things are finally starting to come together.
What is it, Apollo? Your fists are trembling!
I think I know what happened. I don't believe it, but I can see it. I think I know how Mr. Sham was killed.
Well, fill us in, Mr. Justice.
A certain piece of evidence points to the truth, Your Honor. The red envelope. I could show you how someone with intent to kill sent him the stamp of death.
You're probably right, Luke.
It's the red letter again.
Yep, I think you're right. It has to be.
Pressure journalist. Red letter. Red letter.
Yeah, because it says in there, lick the enclosed stamp. So they probably send him a poison stamp. Unbelievable. That's terrible. Why would the person trying to get money out of him want to kill him, though?
Maybe so they get the money back.
Oh, wow. That's terrible.
Or they shut him up.
Oh my gosh.
Alright, here we go.
Isn't this the envelope? The one from 7 years ago?
Think about the text of the letter again, please. There are 2 pages in the envelope. This is one.
Sign the papers.
And this is page 2.
And do the enclosed stamp.
I want to draw your attention to one phrase in particular. Send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp within 3 days. The enclosed stamp, Your Honor.
Ah! In other words, if I have this straight, the stamp poison on the stamp, lick lick, gasp gasp, end quote.
Now, what if he had done exactly as the letter asked?
He would sign the document, put it in the envelope, and put the stamp on it, right, Apollo? Then he would put it in his letterbox.
15 minutes wouldn't have elapsed between affixing the stamp and mailing the letter. But the clock started ticking, and when the time came, he drew his last breath, and the murder weapon would be taken away from the scene of the crime.
Wow.
Quite conveniently, thanks to the postal system.
Whoa.
Creepy.
Such a splendid imagination you have, Herr Forehead. Huh? Let me confirm one thing with you, if I might. So this poison stamp was inside the envelope from 7 years ago. Yeah? Is that what you have us believe, really? What? Well, yeah.
It's a little bit of a stretch, but there's a possibility, Apollo.
Yes, a very small possibility. How small, I wonder? A poison stamp is in this envelope, a stamp that became the murder weapon? How do you intend to prove this seeming coincidence?
Well,
It was 7 years ago, and we don't even know who sent that letter. And your answer is silence, I see. Very well. I move to...
It's not nice to pick on the Fräulein, Clavier.
Huh? Huh?
His brother.
Ah! Emma?
Oh, wow. Well, like my Christoph Gavin impression? Did I sound like him?
Don't quit your day job. Don't you have a crime scene to be looking after, Fräulein Detective?
Someone had to come dig you out of the mess you're making on this case.
Mess?
You know, none of this would have happened if you just trusted in science a little bit more. You can find out if that stamp was in that envelope pretty easily.
Care to explain yourself, Fräulein Detective?
Glare at me all you want, but science is on my side. It's all in the residue, right?
That's right! The poison detection spray! Produce the red envelope at once. You can open it on the authority of this court. Spray.
Dr. Drew. Oh, yeah, we can see if it was actually in there. Whoa! Oh my gosh, it was!
There it is.
Wow!
Well, would you look at that?
No mistaking it. That's atroquinine residue. 100%.
I don't believe it! The murder weapon from the past? Now, 7 years later, it bears its fangs at last.
Objection!
Absolutely outrageous! Tell me why. Why didn't this murder take place 7 years ago? Well,
There's one possibility. Maybe Mr. Misham figured it out.
Figured what out?
He realized the person who sent that letter wanted him dead. So he sent his reply with a different stamp.
And put his decisive evidence in a frame? The residue got on his thumb. You're still here?
Oh, yeah.
Can I make a statement here on the record? I, Spark Razortooth Brushel, claim this scoop is mine. Drew Misham killed in cold blood by sender of 7-year-old letter, end quote. No, maybe something more, star falls after 7-year delay, end quote? No.
Dude, somebody just died.
Order! Order! I see no room for further argument here, though I admit this is all coming as quite a shock. To think that the murder weapon reached his mouth after 7 years. The stamp is a ticket straight to the afterlife, end quote.
Oh, I think the witness is a bad influence on our judge.
I see no need for further debate on this matter. The sender of that letter 7 years ago could hardly have been our defendant.
Apollo?
I think we just won. Very well, this court finds the defendant.
Objection!
What?
Oh man, what's going on now?
Is this the bright future of our legal system? Prosecutor? Gavin? A ticket of the afterlife from 7 years ago? Tickets for Gavineer shows are invalid after 2 weeks. But it doesn't make sense any other way. It boggles my mind that so many people haven't noticed this. There's a fatal contradiction in Herr Forehead's claim. A contradiction? A poison stamp was placed in this envelope 7 years ago, whereupon it was framed until now. If that's the case, then why would Drew have done what he did? Emma explained that he must have realized it was poisoned. Therein lies the rub. Huh? 7 years ago, the forger Drew sensed the trap and put the stamp in a frame. Do not debate this, but this begs the question. Why 7 years later did he use that stamp on the night of the murder?
That's true.
Surely you don't mean to suggest that Mr. Sham simply forgot? He put that murder weapon in the frame on his desk for 7 years and forgot? I mean, that's possible. You expect us to believe he sprang the trap on himself? I figured it out. I know what happened. He was panicking and looking for a stamp to send the letter, and he found it on that frame and completely forgot what it was.
Yeah, maybe.
I think he accidentally killed himself.
I don't know.
While I admit this is all quite shocking myself, it does seem highly unlikely that he would fall afoul of a trap. What had been sitting on his desk for 7 years?
Apollo!
No, I don't think it was suicide. I think it was an accidental death. Remember, guys, the journalist said that he was frantically looking for a stamp to put on the letter, and he couldn't find one in his desk. He probably saw the stamp that was on the picture frame and completely forgot why it was there. I mean, I forget what happened a year ago, you know?
He probably forgot why he put that there 7 years ago. He was probably like, why do I have this random stamp here? Oh, well, I guess I'll just use it because it's here. Maybe that's what he did.
Now we just have to prove how he accidentally killed himself. The daughter didn't do it. Oh, I don't think we're winning anymore. I'm glad to see we're all back in the real world now. Welcome back to reality. We've been waiting for you.
Objection!
Okay, then how do you explain the poison stamp that was in the envelope? The poison stamp? Where exactly is this poison stamp again? Have you brought it to the court for us? I see no proof that such a thing ever existed.
No, there was proof.
What about the residue he left on the picture frame? Oh, I agree, that does seem to be the residue of the poison. But Herr Forehead, it's certainly no stamp. Yeah, but even if your precious poison stamp did exist, Drew never would have used it. That is all.
Yeah, that's a good point. But, like you said, he might have used it by mistake.
I believe we've come to a conclusion again.
Apollo! We were wrong the whole time?
I can't believe it. The poison traces match up. It can't be coincidence. I'd like to bring some closure to this issue sometime this year, please. Mr. Justice. Yes, Your Honor. Let's review the facts and see where we stand. 7 years ago, Drew received a red envelope. There were traces of poison on the document inside that envelope. A similar trace was also found on the crime scene, on this tiny picture frame. The defense has indicated the possibility of a yellow envelope, and the envelope has left the scene of the crime with the poison stamp on it. Yes, but even if this envelope contained a poison stamp, and Drew, knowing this, put it in a frame, he never would have used that stamp. I'm afraid you're right, which means there is fatal flaw in the defense's case. I haven't been wrong on track this whole time, I'm sure of it. The traces of the poison, the envelope, the frame, and Drew, mysterious death. They're all connected somehow. Well, Mr. Justice, do you have a conclusion for us? The defense stands by its case, Your Honor. We've seen that the logical outcome of the evidence makes no sense, which means that one of our clues must be a fake. A fake clue. Fascinating. And if we find this fake, your wild fantasies will be proven quite reasonable, yeah? The fake clues that thrown us off the poison trail is none other than... Drew? Why would Drew be the fake clue? That's what the chat says.
Maybe the person that was the forger in the family wasn't Drew.
The daughter's the forger?
Maybe she was the forger.
Whoa.
Maybe the stamp, maybe they were trying to kill her. Maybe they were trying to kill her and they accidentally killed him instead.
Whoa.
Maybe the letter was actually sent to her.
The victim was a fake clue? I'm afraid I don't understand.
I'll explain. We have an envelope, a frame, and a mug linked by poison. That all makes sense. What doesn't make sense is the victim himself.
Objection!
Congratulations, you've completely lost me. So the fake evidence is none other than the master of the fake himself, the forger. It makes a good story, I'll give you that.
The fake clue, the fakes, the forgeries. Ah!
I know that face! That's the I just had an idea face!
I don't know if I'm right, but I'm going with it anyway. What if our forger is the fake?
Come again?
7 years ago, our forger sniffed a trap and stepped aside. 7 years passed. Now the forger stumbles into the very same trap and dies. Why?
That's what I want to know.
Because the forger who was killed was a fake.
Here we are again. The victim was a fake?
One forger smelled the trap, one forger fell into the trap. That's 2 forgers, and one of them was a fake.
Okay.
Whoa. What if she kept the stamp and he didn't know that it was poison? Like what if it was sent to her and she kept it? Like, oh man, this person's trying to kill me. I guess I'll just keep this for evidence. And then maybe he saw the letter and he realized, oh my gosh, I need to take care of this for my daughter. And send this blood money so my daughter doesn't go to jail. I guess I need to find a stamp so I can keep my daughter safe. And then he licked it.
Order in the court!
I don't know.
So you're telling us that Drew, the victim, was a fake? Well, if he was the fake, who was the real forger? You'd better not be claiming there was some kind of switcheroo. I'm afraid you're gonna have to back up your story, Mr. Justice. Show us just who the real Drew was.
If Drew wasn't the real forger, there's only one other person who could have been. Understood, Your Honor.
She's always using her sketch pad.
Forger Drew was himself a forgerer. The real forger was Vera. There can only be one explanation, really. The real identity of the forger, known as Drew Sham, was none other than his only daughter, Vera.
Order! Mr. Justice, this is going out on a limb even for you.
I kind of agree. I mean, Vera forger?
Let's consider it before you write it off entirely, Your Honor. If you look at the paintings in the studio, one fact becomes quite clear. Forgery had been taking place in that studio for quite some time. The forger wasn't caught in that trap 7 years ago. This can only mean that the one who caught in the trap was the forger.
Well, actually, that does make a certain kind of sense.
One more thing. Only 2 sets of fingerprints were found in the forger's studio. Drew and Vera's. If we know that Drew wasn't the forger, that leaves only one possibility by process of elimination. The forger was Vera. Well?
Oh, wow. She doesn't seem like she could be a forger.
Anyone could be a criminal.
That's true.
Fascinating.
So he was trying to help his daughter, or...
Vera? You've been paying attention to the trial so far?
Let's just ask her and be done with it, shall we?
Who are you? Who is the forger, Drew?
Was that an expression of emotion I saw on her face? She's staring holes in the prosecutor Gavin's face.
I'm used to being stared at by Fräuleins, believe me. Though they usually talk to me, too. Tell us, were you the one who forged those works of art?
Yes.
So the forger, Drew, was you?
Yes, it was me.
What? What?
Her voice, I made her voice sound so quiet, but that's not how she acts.
The court was in an uproar and it wasn't coming down. We had to break for a 10-minute recess.
To be continued.
Yep, we're gonna start Final Fantasy. We have to.
That's fine. Well, that was interesting.
That was very interesting. All right, guys. So there's a change in schedule today. Because of the wonky stuff, like this stream is ending under 600 views. So in order to get another episode tomorrow at its regular time, you guys will have to get 500 views. So what you can do immediately after the stream is the 100 of you guys watching, it'll count as a new video view when you refresh. Once it's a VOD, because there are two types of views on YouTube. You have live stream views, which you're watching right now, counts as live, and then you have what's known as an uploaded or a VOD view. This is the best we can do because we're almost we're at a very dangerous level on the overall channel hours, so we have to start Final Fantasy.
If we go below a certain amount, then basically what happens is YouTube will start paying us less and less, and our channel will eventually die. So yeah, we have to get more than we have to get more views on the channel per hour. But please like and share the video and leave a comment, and make sure that you guys watch after this video goes public as a regular video, and try to watch for 5 minutes before midnight tonight if you guys can. Thank you everyone for watching. Appreciate that. And we need 40 likes to start on the next video, so if you guys could go over there and try to like that video so we can start that as soon as possible.
Yeah, Batman is not happening today.
We're doing a Final Fantasy demo.
Yeah, Final Fantasy demo. So yep, 550 views, so you guys have to get 450 views for tomorrow's stream for this. So good luck everybody. And all the likes were purged too. We had so many likes on this video, didn't we? We were like close to 140, we're at 116.
Yep.
So they purged likes, and they also made it so that views were very impossible to get on the stream. So YouTube was being very sus, but you know, good luck everybody. We hope you guys are able to get 1,000 views by tomorrow morning. Because I set up the streams at 7 in the morning, so I need to know what I'm doing for the day.
Yep, if we get it before 7 in the morning, then we can do it. If not, we'll just do it the next day.
Well, assuming it gets 1,000 views.
If it gets 1,000 views by the next day. Thanks everyone. We'll see you guys for Final Fantasy in about 20 minutes.
No, it's not a bug in the system, Peter. It was deliberately, those were manually removed likes. It's not a bug. That was done by YouTube.
It's a bug that only happens to our channel and happens deliberately all the time. And it happens usually after we get a big super chat. It happens all the time after we get a nice super chat.
Yeah, the week.
Then it randomly goes down for no reason at all.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the hanging out on the stream, Peter, and everyone, Jessica and OH.
Yep.
We'll see you guys about 20 minutes for the next stream.
God bless. Happy gaming. See you in a little bit.